Everyone on the alien world of Cathara whispered the same warning. Never touch the ancestral armor of the Varnic people. It was sacred, it was alive, and it chose its own wearer. For hundreds of years, no Varnic warrior had been chosen by the armor. It stood locked in the great temple, covered in dust and ancient symbols. Many had tried to wear it, but the armor rejected them all, sometimes with death, until the day a human touched it. His name was Eli Grant, a soldier from Earth, sent to help the Varnic fight off invaders called the Trelax Swarm. Humans were rare. On Cathara, most Varnic didn't trust them, but Eli had saved lives in battle, earning silent respect. One day, during a surprise attack, Eli chased a Trelax spy deep into the temple. His path led straight to the chamber where the armor stood. The Trelax spy tried to touch the armor first, thinking it might give him power, but the armor responded by burning the creature to ash. In seconds, Eli, breathing hard, stood before it. And then something strange happened. The armor began to glow, its symbols shining like stars. Without thinking, Eli reached out. His hand touched the chest plate and the entire suit of armor opened up, like it was welcoming him. He hesitated, but a voice, not in words, but in feelings, entered his mind. You are worthy. Wear me. With no time to think, because enemy soldiers were coming, Eli stepped inside. The armor closed around him instantly. Suddenly, he felt everything. His body was stronger, his sight sharper. He could hear enemy footsteps far away. His muscles didn't tire. His mind was clear. Then he realized he could command energy with his thoughts. A wave of energy shot from his hand, blasting the walls and crushing the enemies chasing him. Varnic guards arrived just in time to see Eli standing in the glowing suit, the forbidden armor, alive around him. They didn't cheer. They didn't welcome him. They looked at him in fear. What have you done? One of them whispered. Eli, breathing hard, looked down at his hands covered in alien metal. What, did I just awaken? The armor whispered again in his mind. Now, we are one. Outside, the enemy was massing for another attack. Inside, the Varnic leaders gathered, demanding to know why the armor accepted a human and what it meant. Some called Eli a thief. Others called him a chosen warrior. But one thing was clear: Eli was no longer just a man, and the armor had just begun to awaken its true power. Eli stood in the center of the ancient hall, the alien armor covering him like a second skin. It was light yet indestructible. He felt faster, stronger, sharper, but the strangest part was the voice inside his mind. It was not a human voice. It was old, heavy, but calm. It said, "You are the first in centuries worthy of me. But with power comes enemies. Prepare yourself." Before Eli could answer, the Varnic guards aimed their weapons at him. Their commander, a tall alien named General Kavor, growled in anger. "Remove the armor. Human, you have committed a grave sin." Eli tried to pull the armor off, but it refused to move. "I can't," Eli said. "It's alive. It won't let go." The Varnic soldiers stepped closer, ready to fire. But then boom! A loud explosion shook the ground. Outside the temple walls, the sky turned dark with thousands of Trelax swarm ships. They had returned, stronger than before. The Varnic guards hesitated. They had a choice: fight the human or defend their city. Kavor hissed, then shouted to the walls, "We'll deal with the human later." The soldiers ran out. Eli was left standing, alone, except for one Varnic, a young female scientist named Solana. She had violet skin, bright silver eyes, and unlike the others, she was not afraid. "You can control the armor?" she asked. "I think so," Eli replied. Solana stepped closer. "Then you must come with me. That armor was made for war, but only the chosen can unlock all its power. If you don't learn fast, we'll all die." Eli nodded. The voice inside him whispered again, "Listen to her. She knows the old ways." Solana led Eli through secret tunnels under the temple. As they moved, she explained the truth. That armor is called the Kavari shell. It was built by the ancient Varnic, powered by a living core. It bonds with its wearer's soul. But if the wearer is weak or evil, the armor burns them alive. Eli frowned. "So why didn't it kill me?" Solana looked at him deeply. "Because your soul is strong. But strength is not enough. The armor tests the wearer in battle. If you fail, it will abandon you forever. They reached an old chamber filled with glowing symbols and strange machines. This is the forge room, Solana said. Here you can learn the basic commands of the armor, but we don't have much time. The swarm is coming. Eli stepped forward. The armor reacted, the symbols on the walls lighting up. Suddenly, a holographic figure appeared. It was a projection of an ancient Varnic warrior. Welcome, bearer of the Kavari shell, the projection spoke. To control the armor, you must merge mind and instinct. Think, and it shall obey. Eli raised his hand, thinking of a shield, and instantly, a glowing energy shield formed. Then he imagined a weapon and his arm transformed into a sharp plasma blade. Solana watched in awe. You're a fast learner. But then, alarms echoed through the tunnels. A Varnic messenger rushed in. The Trelax have broken through the city walls. They're heading for the temple. Solana turned to Eli. If they capture the armor or you, the city is lost. Eli looked down at his armored hands. He wasn't sure if he was ready. He was just a soldier from Earth. Not a chosen one, not a hero. But the voice in his mind whispered, "You are worthy, now fight." Eli stepped forward, the armor glowing brighter. Then let's show them what this armor can do. Solana smiled slightly. I'll guide you. But the fight is yours. Eli and Solana rushed back to the surface. When Eli stepped onto the battlefield, the Trelax swarm paused. Their insect-like warriors hissed in confusion. They recognized the Kavari shell. Their leaders shouted warnings. That armor lives, retreat, or be destroyed. But some Trelax did not listen. They charged. Eli raised his hand. The energy shield formed. Their weapons bounced off harmlessly. Then he slammed his fist into the ground. A shockwave of energy blasted through the battlefield, sending enemies flying. The Varnic soldiers watched with wide eyes. General Kavor arrived, stunned. By the stars, the armor lives again. Solana stood beside Eli, shouting to the Varnic, "Stand." With him, the Kavari shell has chosen a human, but he fights for us. The soldiers rallied. The battle raged on. Eli felt the armor guiding him, blocking, striking, moving faster than any normal man. Yet, deep inside, he knew something else. The armor was still holding back. It was testing him. And soon, he'd have to prove he was not just a man wearing alien steel, but the true master of the Kavari shell. Eli stood at the front lines, the alien Kavari shell pulsing with bright energy. Around him, the Varnic soldiers fought harder, inspired by the human wearing their ancestors' armor. But deep inside the armor, Eli still heard the voice, "You are not ready yet. The true enemy approaches." Solana stayed close, using her tech tools to guide him. "You're handling the armor well," she said. "But this is just the beginning. The armor remembers its purpose and it's waiting for something or someone." Before Eli could ask, a heavy rumble shook the ground. From the far side of the battlefield, the Trelax swarm parted like waves. Their soldiers stepped aside, forming a path. Through the path marched a massive figure taller than any warrior, a Trelax warlord, armored in dark biometal, with burning red eyes and giant claws. His name was Zarkan, and his presence made the air itself feel heavy. The Varnic warriors froze in fear. Solana whispered, "That's Zarkan, the Butcher of Worlds. He destroys any who stand against him." Zarkan's eyes locked onto Eli. The warlord growled, his voice deep and cold. "I never thought I'd see the Kavari shell awaken again. And yet, it bonds with a human, laughable." Eli stood firm. "You know this armor?" Zarkan stepped closer. "I do. I've killed its last wearer, and I'll do the same to you." Solana gasped. "No one survives the death of a Kavari wearer." But the armor whispered to Eli, "He lies. The last wearer did not die by his hand. But beware, this one knows how to hurt me." Eli didn't wait. He charged forward, the armor enhancing his speed. His energy blade formed, striking at Zarkan. The warlord blocked easily with his thick arm, the blade barely scratching the surface. Zarkan struck back, his clawed hand slamming into Eli's shield. The force sent Eli flying backwards, crashing through stone walls. The Varnic shouted in panic. Solana ran to help, but the path was blocked by Trelax troops. Eli struggled to stand. The armor pulsed with pain. He is stronger than you, the armor's voice admitted, but not smarter. Use me. Think beyond brute strength. Eli took a breath. He remembered his Earth training guerrilla tactics, mobility, unpredictability. He darted forward again, but instead of direct attack, he jumped over Zarkan. Landing behind and slashing at the warlord's legs, the bioarmor of Zarkan cracked. Slightly, Zarkan roared and spun, but Eli was already moving, flipping away, firing energy blasts from his palms. Solana, watching from a distance, activated a hidden signal beacon, channeling more energy to Ellie's armor. The Kavari shell responded thin. Wings of energy formed on Ellie's back, allowing brief hover jumps. He zipped around Zarkan, striking from all angles. For the first time, the Trelax warlord grunted in pain, but then Zarkan slammed his fists together, creating a shockwave that knocked Eli from the sky. Eli landed hard, the armor absorbing the impact but still leaving him winded. Zarkan marched closer. You are better than I thought. Human, he growled, but the Kavari shell has limits, and I will break them. Eli tried to stand, but his limbs felt heavy. The armor whispered, you must unlock the core, reach deeper within me. Your soul must merge fully, or you will fall. Eli focused, trying to connect. He closed his eyes, searching inside. Suddenly, visions flooded his mind, the memories of past wearers of the armor. He saw a Varnic warrior centuries ago, fighting armies alone. A human-like figure, burning with light, leading a rebellion. A final battle, where a shadowy figure betrayed the wearer, and that betrayer looked like Zarkan. Eli gasped, you betrayed the last wearer. That's how you know the armor's weaknesses. Zarkan smiled darkly. So the armor remembers me. Good. But memories won't save you. Eli pushed harder, connecting deeper. The core of the armor answered. A new power awoke. A pulse of white energy surged through the suit, repairing dents, refreshing his strength. Solana saw the glow and shouted, you've unlocked the core, now fight. Eli stood tall, the energy around him brighter than ever. He raised his hands, and the ground trembled. Energy pillars shot from the earth, slamming into Zarkan, trapping him. Then, focusing, Eli formed not just one, but two plasma blades, one on each arm. He dashed forward, slicing in a flurry of strikes. Each hit cracked Zarkan's armor. Further, the warlord howled in rage, breaking free, but Eli was relentless. With one final leap, powered by the core, Eli drove both blades deep into Zarkan's chest. The warlord roared, stumbling. This isn't over, human. Zarkan growled, then collapsed. The battlefield went silent. The Trelax swarm, seeing their leader fall, began to retreat. The Varnic cheered. Solana ran to Eli, her eyes wide. You did it. The core accepted you. The Kavari shell is truly yours. Now Eli, breathing hard, looked at the fallen warlord. But the armor's voice warned him, he is not dead, and greater enemies will come. The real test has yet to begin. The battlefield was quiet. Smoke drifted through the air. Eli stood over Zarkan's fallen body, his chest rising and falling inside the glowing Kavari shell. The Varnic warriors began to cheer. Solana ran to Eli, smiling with relief. You defeated him, Eli. No one thought it was possible, but Eli didn't feel peace. The armor whispered inside his mind, be careful. His soul is too dark to die so easily. Suddenly, Zarkan's eyes snapped open. He wasn't dead. His mouth twisted into a smile, even as he lay broken. You may have won the battle, human. Zarkan growled, but you've already lost the war. Before Eli could react, Zarkan raised a small device in his hand. He pressed a button. A deep vibration echoed beneath the ground. Solana's eyes widened. No, he planted a trigger. What did he do? Eli asked. Zarkan chuckled weakly. The temple, the city, this entire region. I've buried a biobomb deep underground. It feeds off the planet's core. Soon, it will ignite and destroy everything within 100 miles. Your precious armor can't stop that. The Varnic soldiers shouted in panic. General Kavor yelled, find the bomb, stop it. But Solana shook her head, her face pale. A biobomb is alive. It burrows deep into the earth and connects with the core. We can't dig that far. If it ignites, not only the city, but the whole planet could break apart. Eli looked at Zarkan, rage burning in his eyes. How do we stop it? Zarkan laughed softly. You can't. The moment I die, the bomb activates fully. My life was the key. Then his eyes rolled back. He was gone, but the ground began to shake violently. Red cracks of energy appeared in the distance. Selena looked at Eli, desperate. You have to go after the bomb, Eli. The Kavari shell is the only thing strong enough to survive that deep. But the pressure, the heat, even with the armor, it could kill you. The armor's voice spoke in Ellie's mind. If we merge fully, I can shield you. But merging has risks. You may lose part of yourself, your mind, your memories, even your humanity. Ellie's heart pounded. He had a choice: stay on the surface and escape with the Varnak, or risk his life and soul to save the planet. He looked at Selena. She didn't beg, but her eyes told him everything. I have to try, Eli said. Show me the way. Selena pulled up a map on her wrist device. There's an old mining shaft. It goes deep close to the planet's core, but no one's ever survived going that far. Eli nodded. Good thing I'm not just anyone now. Selena placed her hand on his armored chest. Be careful. If anyone can do this, it's you. Eli smiled briefly, then turned and ran toward the shaft. The Varnik soldiers cleared the path, watching in awe as the human in the glowing armor raced into the dark tunnels below. As Eli descended, the air grew hotter. The walls glowed with red cracks, signs that the planet was starting to fracture. The armor spoke. You must decide now. Merge with me fully, and I can take us deeper. But you may never be the same. Eli didn't hesitate. Do it. A surge of light surrounded him. The armor melted into his skin, not just a shell, but part of his flesh, his mind, his soul. Eli screamed, but not in pain. It was power, knowledge. He could feel the planet's pulse, the heat of the core, the location of the bomb. I see it, he said aloud. Let's finish this. He pushed forward, breaking through stone, diving deeper until he reached a vast chamber of magma. At the center was the bio-bomb, an ugly, pulsing creature of metal and flesh, feeding off the planet's energy. It sensed him and began to glow violently. It was about to explode. Eli charged, the armor now alive with pure energy. The bomb lashed out with tendrils, trying to stop him, but Ellie's plasma blades sliced through them easily. Still, the bomb resisted. It needed a final spark to be destroyed. The armor whispered, there is one way: overload my core. But if we do, I may die, and you with me. Eli closed his eyes, remembering Earth, the Varnak, Selena, the people who believed in him. We do it together. He unleashed all the energy of the Kavari shell into the bomb, focusing everything into one massive pulse. The chamber exploded in light. On the surface, Selena and the Varnik felt the ground shake. The sky split with bright energy. Then, silence. The ground steadied. The red cracks faded. Selena stared at the horizon, her voice shaking. Did he make it? A few long moments passed. Then a beam of light shot up from the earth. From the center of that light, a figure rose. Eli, still armored, glowing faintly, but alive. The Varnik cheered. Selena ran forward, tears in her eyes. Eli landed weakly, dropping to one knee. Selena helped him up. You did it. You saved us. Eli smiled faintly. I'm not sure if I'm still all human, but yeah, we're alive. The armor was quiet, but it was still there, bonded forever. But far away in the darkness of space, someone else was watching, and they were not happy that the human had survived. For days after the battle, the planet of Cathara was peaceful. The bio-bomb had been destroyed, and the ground stopped shaking. The Varnik rebuilt their cities with hope. But Eli felt different. Since merging with the Kavari shell, he was no longer just human. The armor had become part of his mind. His thoughts were sharper, his senses stronger. Yet, something was wrong. At night, when the stars filled the sky, Eli felt a strange presence watching him from afar. Selena noticed his distant look. One evening, she approached him on a quiet balcony overlooking the city. You've been quiet, she said softly. Are you still hearing the armor's voice? Eli nodded. Yes, but it's not the same. The armor is afraid. Selena frowned. Afraid of what? Before Eli could answer, a strange sound echoed from the sky, a low hum, like a song mixed with thunder. Then, bright blue lights appeared in the night sky, massive ships unlike anything anyone had seen before. The Varnic alarm bells rang. General Kavor shouted commands. Gathering soldiers, Selana's eyes widened. Those aren't Trellak's ships. Ellie's armor began to glow on its own. The voice spoke urgently. They are here. The creators have returned. Ellie's eyes narrowed. Creators of you? Before the armor could explain, a beam of light shot from the sky, striking the temple's courtyard. When the light faded, figures stood there tall, slender beings with silver skin, glowing eyes, and long robes of energy. The Varnic soldiers aimed their weapons, but froze when one of the beings raised a hand. We mean no harm. We have come for the Kavari shell. Eli stepped forward. You made this armor. The being nodded. Long ago, we are the Elith. We forged the Kavari shell to protect civilizations from destruction. But we abandoned it when the balance was broken. Selana stepped beside Eli. Why now? Why return after so many centuries? The Elith leader looked at Eli with eyes like endless stars. Because the shell has chosen a human. That was never meant to happen. Eli felt his fists tighten. I didn't choose this. The armor chose me. Exactly, the Elith said. And that is dangerous. The shell was not supposed to bond with anyone but the Varnic ancestors. If it chose a human, something has gone wrong. Selana glared. He saved us. He saved the planet. How is that wrong? The Elith being's face remained calm, because the shell feeds on the soul of the wearer. Too much bonding, and the shell begins to change the host into something else, something not human, not Varnic, but something new. Ellie's heart sank. You're saying I'll become, what? A living weapon. Beyond control, the Elith answered. We have seen it before. The last wearer became unstable. He was lost to madness. That is why we sealed the shell away. Selana stepped forward, but the last wearer was betrayed. Zarkin admitted it. The Elith exchanged glances. Yes, but the betrayal was provoked because the wearer became too powerful and dangerous. The swarm feared him, rightfully so. Eli asked the question he feared most. What do you want from me? The Elith leader looked sad. Surrender the shell. Come with us, and we will separate it from you. If you don't, the transformation will continue until you're no longer yourself. Eli looked at his hands. They still looked human, but he could feel the difference inside. The power, the connection, the danger. Selana grabbed his arm. Don't trust them. Without the shell, we're defenseless. The swarm could return, or worse. But the Elith warned again. If he keeps the shell, he risks losing his mind. The energy will consume his soul, and the protector will become the destroyer. Eli stood in silence. The city was watching. The Varnic soldiers, Selana, the Elith. He looked at Selana. Her eyes were full of worry but also trust. Then he looked at the Elith. I'm not giving it up. Eli said firmly. Not yet. Not until I know for sure who I'm becoming. The Elith did not argue. The leader simply said, then we will watch. But if you lose control, we will return, and we will end you. With that, the Elith vanished in a flash of light, their ships disappearing into the stars. Silence returned to the city. Selana touched Ellie's arm. You made the right choice. But inside, Eli wasn't sure. The armor whispered faintly, you are changing. The question is, into what? Far above, hidden in the dark side of a nearby moon, other eyes watched the remnants of the Trellak swarm, regrouping, evolving, and plotting their next move. And this time, they would not come alone. The nights on Cathara grew restless. The stars seemed darker, and the air colder. Though the Elith had left, their warning echoed in Ellie's mind. The transformation will continue. Eli tried to ignore the voice. Every day he trained with the Kavari shell, trying to control the armor's growing power. But deep inside, something was changing. His thoughts were quicker, his reflexes sharper. But sometimes when he got angry, the armor reacted on its own, forming weapons without his command. Selana watched over him, keeping track of his vitals with her tech tools. One morning, she scanned him and frowned. Your heart rate is faster, even when you're resting. The Armor is fusing deeper into your body. It's not just a suit anymore, it's a part of you. Eli looked down at his hands. Even without the armor active, faint glowing lines traced his veins. I can feel it, like it's always awake, Eli admitted. But I'm still me, Selena. I won't let it take over. She touched his arm gently. We'll figure this out together. Before they could speak further, alarms echoed across the city. General Kavor's voice blasted from the comms. All warriors to the wall. The swarm has returned. Eli and Selena rushed to the defenses. From the city walls, they saw the sky filled with Trelax ships, larger and darker than before. But this time, they weren't alone. Strange, massive creatures floated alongside the ship's biomechanical beasts, half flesh, half machine. Their bodies glowed with dark red energy. Selena gasped. They've bioforged new monsters. We've never seen anything like them. General Kavor stepped up, grim-faced. They've returned stronger. They've evolved. Eli activated the Kavari shell. The armor wrapped around him instantly, brighter than ever. Then so have I, he said. Stepping forward, the battle began. Trelax. Warriors swarmed the city, climbing the walls, breaking defenses. The new bio-beasts fired energy blasts that tore through Varnic defenses like paper. Eli leapt into action, his blades slicing through enemies, his shield deflecting deadly shots. But every time he killed one, more took their place. Then, one of the giant bio-beasts roared and fired a beam directly at Eli. He raised his shield, but the blast was too powerful. It knocked him deep into the city, crashing through stone and metal. Selena rushed to him. Eli, are you okay? He stood, the armor cracked but still holding. The armor's voice whispered, unleash more of me. Release the limiters, but be warned, each time you do, the change deepens. Eli looked at the destruction. If he didn't stop them, Cathara would fall. He closed his eyes. Do it. A surge of power flooded through him. The armor glowed brighter, forming new plates, sharper edges. Energy wings burst from his back, giving him full flight. When Eli opened his eyes, they glowed faintly. Blue. He shot into the sky, faster than before, slamming into the bio-beast. His fists punched through its metal flesh, pulling it apart piece by piece. The Trelax below screamed as their great weapon fell. The Varnic soldiers cheered, but Selena watched with worry. He's stronger, but his eyes, they're not the same. Eli fought like a storm, cutting down waves of enemies. He didn't even feel tired. The armor guided his strikes, predicting the enemies before they moved. But then he heard a deep growl from the enemy ranks. A new figure stepped forward, taller than Zarkan, armored in dark crystal. With four glowing red eyes, Selena's scanner beeped. That's not just a Trelax, it's something more. The figure spoke, voice like grinding metal. I am Vorax, born from the swarm and the core you destroyed. I am evolution, and you, human, are mine to break. Vorax raised his hand and fired a black energy beam. Eli blocked with his shield, but the force was immense, pushing him back. Vorax laughed. You are powerful, human, but the deeper you bond with that armor, the less human you become. Eventually, you'll be no different than me. Eli pushed forward, energy blades clashing with Vorax's dark weapons. The battle shook the ground, each strike sending shockwaves. Selena watched in fear. Eli was winning, but his movements were becoming inhuman. Smooth, perfect, too fast. His voice when he shouted was deeper, layered. She whispered, don't lose yourself, Eli. Please. Inside his mind, the armor whispered, we can defeat him, but only if you let me merge fully, become the shell's true master, or risk death. Eli stood at the edge of choice. Let the armor take full control to defeat Vorax, or fight alone and possibly die. But one thing was clear: if he lost himself, there might be no coming back. Vorax sneered. Decide, human, be a man, or become a god. And the battle's fate hung on Ellie's neck's decision. Eli hovered in the sky, the Kavari shell burning with power around him. Across from him stood Vorax, the monstrous Trelax leader, cloaked in dark energy. The world around them shook from their battle. Below, the Varnic warriors and Selena watched, helplessly. In Ellie's mind, the armor whispered, merge with me fully, Eli. Become unstoppable. No one, not even Vorax, can defeat us then. But another voice echoed in his heart, his own voice, his memories of Earth, his friends, Solana's face. He looked at his hands, covered in glowing alien metal. Was he still human, or something else now? Vorax sneered. Given human, become like me. Let the power consume you. It's the only way. Eli stared at him. Then he remembered something the Elith said. A living weapon. Beyond control. That was not who he wanted to be. Eli took a deep breath and whispered to the armor. No, I'll never lose myself. We fight together, but I stay me. The armor hesitated, then replied, understood. Together. Suddenly, the shell pulsed, not merging fully, but sensing with Ellie's spirit. Instead of consuming him, it flowed like an extension of his soul. Balanced, Ellie's body glowed brighter, but his eyes remained clear. Solana saw the light and smiled. He's still himself. Vorax roared. Fool, you could have been a god. I'd rather stay human. Eli said, let's finish this. The sky exploded as they clashed again. Energy blades and dark weapons striking with lightning speed. Vorax struck hard, but Eli was faster, dodging, blocking, and countering with precision. The armor didn't control him, it worked with him. Vorax grew angrier, his attacks wilder. You fight like them. Vorax spat. Weak, limited. But Eli smirked. Then why are you bleeding? Indeed, dark liquid dripped from Vorax's wounds. He was weakening. Ellie's energy built up. He formed a massive spear of light, the final strike. But then, Vorax laughed darkly. You forget. Human, I am the swarm. Kill me, and another takes my place from the Trelax ships above. Beams of energy shot down, fueling Vorax, healing his injuries. Solana screamed. They're feeding him. He'll regenerate endlessly. Ellie's heart sank. He couldn't win if Vorax kept healing. Then the armor whispered, there is one way. Destroy the ships powering him. But you cannot do it alone. You must trust the Varnic. Eli glanced at Solana and the Varnic army. Then he made his choice. He opened his comms. Kavor. Solana, I need you to take down those ships. Aim for the energy links. General Kavor barked orders. You heard the human. Target the sky. Varnic cannons turned upwards. Solana quickly adjusted the targeting systems, guiding the Varnic weapons. Fire. The sky lit up with blasts of energy. One by one, the Trelax ships began to fall, explosions blooming like stars. Vorax felt the connection breaking. No, stop them. He roared, but he was too late. Without the ships, his power began to fade. Eli didn't wait. He launched forward, his spear of light piercing through Vorax's chest. Vorax howled, his body crumbling, the dark energy evaporating. With one final cry, Vorax exploded in a storm of black and red light, his form dissolving into dust. Silence fell. Eli landed on the ground, breathing hard. The Kavari shell's glow dimmed, settling. Solana ran to him, her eyes full of relief. You did it. You're still you. Eli smiled weakly. Thanks to you all. I couldn't win alone. The Varnic cheered. The swarm was defeated, the sky clearing. But then, the armor spoke gently. You have balanced the bond, Eli. The Kavari shell is truly yours now. You remain human, but more. Eli nodded. Good. I want to protect, not conquer. Solana touched his arm. What will you do now? Eli looked to the stars. There are other threats out there, and I'm sure the Elith are still watching. I'll stay here for now, but if the galaxy needs me, I'll be ready. Solana smiled. Not alone, I hope. Eli chuckled. Never alone. Far away, in the shadows of space, the Elith observed silently. Their leader spoke. He has done the impossible, balanced power with humanity. Perhaps the galaxy still has hope. For now, peace returned to Cathara. But in the heart of one human, clad in alien steel, a guardian stood ready. A human who wore the armor but never let it wear him.